Good morning, everyone. This is Mitch. I hope you guys are having a great start to your Tuesday. Quick morning update on what's going on with the storm system. We'll be cranking up as early as tomorrow evening for portions of south central U.S. with severe storms, and then some winter weather for areas of the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, maybe areas of the interior Northeast. So we're going to give you the latest and greatest information. We're now in range where we can start looking at the 3 km NAM, which is a short range model that we can really start to get an idea of what these severe storms are going to look like as far as tomorrow evening and overnight's concerned, and even into Thursday morning. So we're going to take a look at that, but we're going to focus first on the winter weather side of this, and then second on the severe weather side, and then we're going to be able to get a lot more detail tonight because we'll get in a little bit more range of these short range models, and we can get a better idea of what's going on as far as the severe weather threat. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button, like the video if you like it. I appreciate all the ongoing support as we're getting a little bit deeper into February, and y'all continue to definitely been loyal with watching my stuff, and I really appreciate it, guys, really do. If y'all guys got anything I can pray about, please put in the comments below. I pray over them every single morning, even in the afternoon after my morning videos. It gives others opportunity to pray for you too, so definitely take advantage of that, guys. Y'all want to hit me up on social media, Twitter and Facebook, links are over there. It's a great way to stay up to date with the latest and greatest information. Do apologize last night if my delivery was just off. I was wore out last night, guys. I really was. It was a Monday just hit hard. So had a good day. It was just very busy. So I do apologize for that. But let's get going here. We're going to take a look at the system as a whole. Latest GFS. Hot off the press here, the morning GFS. We're going to get this wrapping. What's going on here? Low pressure develops here. Shortwave trough develops. A shortwave low here develops, it ejects itself across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Cold air is coming down. You got winter weather on the cold side of this, and then a lot of rain kind of in the middle, and then severe weather potential on the south end as warm air advects into the moist sector. So you got dew points rising into the 50s to 60s. So you got that moist air. You don't have like tropical air mass kind of air, but you do have some higher dew points into the 50s and 60s. That does help develop storm initiation, things like that. But there's also going to be a significant winter weather maker for areas of especially maybe central to northern Missouri, even eastern Kansas, areas of the southeast Iowa, and then northern Illinois. And I think Chicago is going to get hit pretty good with this, with maybe several inches of snow, maybe a little bit of icing. We're going to get a little bit closer to you folks here in a second. And then this gets into Michigan, severe weather ongoing potentially for areas, especially the western areas of the deep south into the mid-south. I really think is going to be an area to really watch here. And then the system moves up, and I think the track of this low pressure. Now, the European and the GFS still aren't in agreement, but I'll tell you what, the GFS has ticked a little further south. And, you know, I'll stop it right here for Thursday afternoon. Check this out as I go back a couple runs. If you notice the axis of precipitation as we get, let's back this up 4 runs. The axis of this precipitation where this northwest basically band is, watch it move a little further south in time. You see how this is ticking a little south? So it's kind of starting to come into agreement with a little bit of the Euro. It hasn't folded to the European model, but it is trending a little south. So let's get a little closer at this kind of stuff right here. I want to mention the slight risk is up. It has not been upgraded to an enhanced risk. You just got a slight risk. This includes Dallas, Texas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And just getting into the Little Rock area and very close to the Shreveport, Louisiana area too. There's a 5% chance of a tornado in this brown area, 25 miles at any given location. So be weather aware. This could uptrend. We'll see how it goes, but it has not uptrended from the last 24 hours. Wind threat, I think, will be there as a low-level jet really gets going really late tomorrow night into Thursday morning, really. And then the hail threat will be there as you will have some steep lapse rates as the cold air funnels in and creates definitely cooling alofts. Normally when you have a lot of cooling aloft, basically temperatures are colder way up in the atmosphere. It promotes a big time hail threat. So you got to watch out for that too. And you're looking into now what we have day 3, which is really Thursday. Slight risk has been introduced, as I mentioned in last night's video, that would probably happen. I don't know why the screen's doing that, but anyways, Memphis, Tennessee's including with this, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, all have a slight risk right now. We'll see if this uptrend, but right now it's just a slight risk. But then you have a pretty expansive area of a marginal risk too, which still could be favorable for thunderstorm development and severe storms. So you watch out for this marginal risk even into the Carolinas and Georgia. and there might be just some severe storms, but I don't really think it's going to be that bad. Just watch out for some strong storms in those areas. So let's take a look at the wintry side of this. The latest GFS, we'll get this in motion here. We're rolling. And this is getting into Thursday morning. We'll stop it here. You got some icing developing in areas of Kansas. Low pressure right here with cold air on top. Sleet is in the orange. This is for Thursday morning. Snow in the blue. And as we're getting going later in the morning, as we're getting later into our Thursday morning, you have this wintry mist that works its way into central Illinois, areas of northern Indiana, southern Michigan as you're getting into your Thursday late morning, early afternoon. I think you might start off as a wintry mix for areas of Chicago, and then as you're getting later into your Thursday morning, you'll probably switch to a few hours of some heavy snow. And I think there's going to be an area of really heavy snow in eastern Kansas, really northeastern Kansas, and then areas of northern Missouri, and then southeast Iowa could get into some heavy snow too. This continues to move on off as low pressure continues to move northeast, and you got to watch out for Detroit, for example, for some nasty icing. And then it keeps most of the wintry precipitation in Canada on the northern side of these Great Lakes here. So I think it keeps most of the northeast as we get going here as rain here so far. This is per the latest GFS, but I think northern areas of Maine could see some frozen precipitation. And then the far northern areas of the northeast could certainly see some wintry precipitation, and then the interior areas of the northeast, just some rain. But watch out Buffalo. Now we look at the European, and it's a little bit more different here as we're getting going here in time. It's a little bit further south. So that means two things. One thing, that means the frozen precipitation will be more south. Number two would mean the axis of heavier precipitation will be south. So obviously, if you're a big-time winter weather fan in Chicago, you would stay all snow with the Euro, but you wouldn't get into the heavier snow. You would stay maybe light to moderate snow and maybe some banding of some heavier snow. But we'll freeze this Thursday morning. It's a little bit slower with the system also. I think Thursday morning, maybe in the wee hours in the morning Thursday, you start breaking out with some frozen precipitation in Chicago. This would be freezing rain in areas of central Missouri where the GFS kept y'all all rain. This is snow showing up in areas of Oklahoma back here. I know I haven't really showed y'all much as far as the winter weather side of this, but this will continue to move later into the morning, getting into late morning into Thursday afternoon. Heavier band of snow starts to pivot through here. This would get people like get people like Columbia, Missouri into an axis of some heavier snow as you're getting into your late Thursday morning. And it would put areas like St. Louis at risk for rain changing to ice as the low pressure track on the Euro has consistently been showing much further south than all other model guidance over the last really 48 to 72 hours. We're tracking the storm. But like I said, it doesn't get into areas of Chicago as far as that heavy snow. But it puts a pretty substantial winter storm in a very narrow corridor for areas of central Illinois into northern and even central Indiana, and then southern areas of Michigan. Like Detroit would go to ice to snow, and then the latest Euro would put areas of northern Ohio into some nasty freezing rain as the low pressure tracks and cold air filtering in. And then we flip over to the northeast here, and I think you guys could certainly see, and I think this has done switched. Yeah, it has. So I think this would get you guys in the northeast a little bit further, areas further south into some wintry precipitation. It would get Buffalo to a rain changing to a winter ice to like a wintry mix into a more of a snow scenario. But still altogether, I don't think this is a major event for the Northeast unless you're in far northern areas of all the Northeast states like Vermont, New Hampshire, New York State, and I still don't even think it'll be a big deal for you guys, even for the mountains of the kind of the central areas of the Northeast, if that's even a geographical thing. You know, the interior areas, but not really far northern interior areas. I think you guys even stay mainly rain with this, unless you're in northern Maine, like Caribou, you'll go to an ice to a snow kind of situation per the latest Euro. So as far as snowfall totals, I think this is overdone, even where it's showing snow, but this is what I mean with that narrow corridor of snow. You got heavy snow showing up in northeast Kansas. Northern Missouri gets hit really hard, but maybe certain areas could see 8 to 12 inches of snow. Southeastern Iowa, who's ever in southeastern Iowa, I think y'all could get several inches of snow, but it keeps that corridor of snow and northern Illinois. And this actually has shifted south. If you look and you compare this to actually the run from OOZ, notice, look at this shift south for this band. It's shifted south, so it's kind of nodding its head to the European a little bit. But this would put areas like Chicago with maybe 6 to 8 to 9, maybe 10 inches of snow. In fact, there's some pretty high confidence that y'all will at least see 6 to 8 inches of snow in this area. But it would miss areas like Detroit with the heaviest snow and really bring the heavy snow into south central Michigan. You're looking into the northeast, and it really doesn't affect y'all much. Maybe some back end snow. As far as there's an icing risk with this too, and let's back this up to the Ohio Valley. There's an icing risk with this too, and I think obviously the icing totals are a little overdone here, but there's going to be a corridor of ice that shows up here in north central Missouri, even eastern areas of Kansas. I think someone could see anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 inch of ice at most in this area just south of where the heavier snow falls. The GFS wants to cripple areas like Detroit with pretty much an all-out ice storm. But I don't know. I'm just not sold on this, but I do think there's going to be even a narrow corridor of ice that really hits somebody. As far as what the European's showing with snow, like I said, that narrow corridor of snow will set up, but it's a little further south. So if you're in Chicago, for example, I know I keep using Chicago as a threshold here, but you kind of like where the models are sitting because really you have the axis of heavier snow per the latest Euro a little south of y'all and the GFS a little north. If you combine both model inputs here, you would have a substantial snowstorm if you're a winter weather fan in Chicago. But this really wants to hit areas of Kansas pretty hard with almost 1 foot of snow in certain areas. And then central Missouri, north central Missouri gets hit really hard with several inches of snow. Gets the snow very close to Detroit. St. Louis, not Detroit. Detroit does get several inches of snow. And then areas of northwestern Ohio gets into the snow here. You look at freezing rain totals with the Euro, and let's make sure this is on the right Euro here. And, pretty substantial freezing rain, especially on Ohio, which the Euro has really showed Ohio getting hit hard with some freezing rain, especially north central and northern areas of Ohio. But this actually hits areas of St. Louis with a decent glaze of ice too. I think y'all would stay rain and then go to ice, maybe ending as a brief period of snow. But watch out for a glaze of ice into these areas too. You go back to snow and then you switch it to the northeast. This would bring heavier snow a little bit closer to Buffalo, but not quite. Just a few inches of snow showing up here. But as far as those freezing rain totals, you got to watch out for the northeast because there is a little bit of a glaze showing up in the interior northern sections of the northeast. So I also will show you the NAM. The NAM is right between the GFS and the Euro. NAM's not the most reliable source, but it likes the idea of combining both the models, which makes sense because it's a short-range model, and it makes sense that they're kind of combining both of these in two. So I kind of like to look at the NAM now. Showing 1.5 feet of snow in northern Missouri, I don't think that's going to happen, but this really puts the corridor, that narrow corridor of heavy snow through Chicago, through areas of south central Michigan, northern Missouri, hits areas much further west into Kansas with heavy snow. Have to see how this works. It just depends on the track of this ejecting low pressure that moves across the southern areas of the Midwest and then into the Ohio Valley. So chances of 2 inches of snow, pretty significant in this orange area. That's an 80 to 90% chance of 2 inches of snow stretching from Kansas City all the way to Chicago. Chicago, you have more so a 90 to 95% chance of 2 inches of snow. I'll bump this up to the chances of 6 inches of snow. Kansas City, you guys got a good 60 to 70% chance of seeing 6 inches of snow per the Winter Prediction Center, the National Weather Service here. Our areas like Chicago, over a 50% chance to see 6 inches of snow. You bump this up to the 8-inch threshold, and even in the 8-inch range. I mean, there's an area into north central Missouri where there is a good 40 to 50% chance of 8 inches of snow, and then that area really close to Chicago. As far as looking at how much ice, I'll just stop it here. There's a chance to see 1/10 of an inch of ice, which is pretty much a solid glaze. And there's an area in Missouri and western areas of central Illinois that have a decent chance to see a glaze of ice, but there's also a chance of glaze of ice in all these other states too, like northern Indiana, Michigan, and other areas of Illinois, places like that. So 15 minutes into the video, and we're just talking about severe weather, but we're not going to keep you long going on here with this. But we're getting into, we're going to start this around the evening time frame into Texas. What's going on here is this low pressure begins to develop. With this piece of energy dropping into the southwest, it begins to eject itself. With it, along a dry line, you have some storm development in western Texas. Now, what's going to happen with here is, with an approaching cold front, you're going to have some steep lapse rates in this area, which means basically how quick the temperatures drop with height. So when you have and that's basically telling us that there's a lot of cool air aloft. Aloft meaning in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So normally when you have a lot of cold temperatures aloft, even though you still have some warm temperatures, warm air advection around 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,000 feet up in the air aloft, you have a lot of cooling going on. So there's going to be, I don't think these storms will be big tornado producers, but I do think they'll be big hail producers. So you watch out for that. And then as we're getting going, this is into the overnight hours, you're getting into 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the middle of the night here in Texas and Oklahoma. There's going to be a lot of messy convection in these areas of Arkansas, areas of eastern Oklahoma. We have to see how these storms develop as we're waking up in the south central U.S. Like I said, like eastern areas of Oklahoma, Arkansas, northeast Texas, and to Dallas. I really think that's when you're going to have to watch these storms. At the same time of these storms developing, you're going to have a low-level jet that's going to be ramping up through here. And we see that right into here in the same time frame. You got a low-level jet pumping through this area in the same region where you have some dew points that are rising, which is that moisture that you need for big-time storm development and severe and significant storm development. You have moisture rising up to this triple point that's going to develop right into here, rising into the 50s and 60s. So you got a lot of warm, moist air into this area very briefly. So with that low-level jet in that region, like you said right here, like you're seeing right here with that 50 to 60, maybe even 70 knot low-level jet, which is going to put a lot of wind energy in this and create a little bit of directional shear in the atmosphere, you're going to have a tornado threat, I think, with this convection right here as you're getting into tomorrow morning. That's going to promote not a tornado outbreak, but I do think there's going to be a chance for some embedded tornadoes in this convection. Convection meaning these embedded storms. I don't think you're going to have any isolated supercells that develop. But look at this heavier snow showing up in areas of Kansas and Oklahoma. But that's all I got, guys. I'll get y'all a more in-depth video tonight, which I feel like that was very in-depth because I'm getting on 20 minutes now. But y'all have a great day. God bless all y'all and stay safe.